I'm a marine ecologist, and I work with human activities that cause ecosystem collapse in marine ecosystems. So, decline of kelp forests and coral reefs, that sort of thing. So I work a lot with plants and animals and how they're impacted by nutrient pollution and climate change and things like that. So my research, I'm really starting to struggle with the idea of how we make people change their habits and their activities, because I've noticed that if I go and speak to groups of people and I show them the damage and I show them the flow-on effects and how we're losing the environment, they're shocked and they're horrified and they say, oh my gosh, that's terrible, I need to change. And then they walk out of the room, and for maybe a week they try to do something, but then, especially if there's an economic burden, a financial burden to it, they very rapidly stop trying to change. So what I'm trying to understand, and this is kind of my question, I think you've thought about this a lot longer than I have, is how do we change people's behaviour and activities and then get them to pass that on? Because I think that's the only way that we can actually make a difference.
Well, obviously it's not easy, and I suspect different cultures are slightly different. But from my long-term perspective, if you can get the children involved, they're actually influencing their parents and their grandparents. I've had, so many parents have said, well, I never used to think about recycling, but now my kids make me. And one Chinese grandmother said, I never thought anything about animals. I didn't even think it was wrong to eat them, but my 4-year-old just made me think differently. So that's one aspect of it, but you can't just do that because the world is in such a crisis, so you have to go up to the top. Well, I thought we were doing quite well in the United States until 2 days ago. Now, I don't know. I mean, it's so shocking. I mean, that one election result is really going to damage everything you've been trying to do and that I've been trying to do. I mean, I guess we can all pray that once he's president he changes, but I don't see that he can. He's so...
but as you said, Jane, with him also it's a matter of being, engaging with him.
No, sorry, I'm sorry, you can go and engage.
He's vile, but again, we cannot write off all the work that's been done just because it's one man.
Oh no, we're not going to, not for a second. But so I think I've met so many people who care, but who feel helpless, and they feel that it's got to be something big. But so that the sort of mantra of Roots and Shoots and for everybody is to just think about the consequences of the little choices you make. And what do you buy? What do you eat? What do you wear? Where did it come from? How was it made? Help people understand more about that so that they can actually make ethical choices. And and social media is really helping on this, because you can spread something out not just by 100 but by 1 million through social media. And so certainly young people get it. Roots and Shoots gets it that we've cleaned up this little piece of beach. Well, that's maybe not very helpful, but if there are 2,000 groups cleaning up little pieces of beach or removing invasive species, or as we're doing in Tanzania, planting mangroves or whatever it is, then you start filling in the pieces. So I have no better answer than that.
That's a really good answer, and it sort of touches on some of what I've been thinking about and some of the examples that I've seen work.
I mean, you have the worst job of all when you're dealing with the ocean, because the two lungs of the world, the forests, I think the forests are easier to deal with than what's happened in the ocean with the acidification, the bleaching, all of this. I mean, it really, really is tough, and I don't envy you with that. It's very, I don't know how I could come to grips with it. I mean, the Sea Shepherd does its best and that sort of thing.
I think it's something that I think you would understand. It's something that I've got a passion for and I love, and so it might be daunting, but we have to do it. So,
exactly,
yeah.
and we have many young roots and shoots who are passionate about the ocean too. I think that's the hope. And with technology brought in to help and doing something about the plastic and